Hi everyone, and welcome to another video of my opinions about classical music. Today we are talking about Navarra by Sarasate, which is a violin duet that I discovered through Two-Set Violin. The version we are hearing today though is not Two-Set Violin, and that is because it is Roxana Pavel Goldstein, and Elias Goldstein, and the DePaul University Orchestra with Cliff Colnott as the conductor, and I'm so sorry if I pronounced any names wrong. And now you might be asking, why am I not using Two-Set's version? And that is because it's not available on IMSLP. What's also not available on IMSLP is a version with a piano accompaniment, which I prefer over the orchestra accompaniment. Because the orchestra accompaniment sounds a bit, what should I say, off? It doesn't blend well with the violins, and I don't think that's this recording, I think that's the orchestra arrangement. So of course, to make the confusion complete, I'll be looking at the score with the piano, and we'll be listening to the score with the orchestra. But don't worry, because I'll mostly be talking about the violin parts, which are the exact same. And before I begin talking about this piece in more detail, I just wanted to remind you that you can subscribe. I'd be very happy if you did. I actually jump with joy every time I see there's a new subscriber in my account. And if you like the video, I'd be happy if you showed me by pressing the like button. And if you don't like the video, I'd prefer you don't press the dislike button, but rather told me what you don't like in the comments. And the piece we're talking about today has actually been suggested to me by Brady Bang. I'm not gonna comment on your username, but if you know, you know. Anyway, thank you, Brady Bang, for suggesting this piece. I've actually been wanting to do this piece, so to have it suggested actually just gave me an excuse to do it. So yeah, thank you so much. I'll definitely have fun making this video. So to just jump right into it, this piece is divided into 3 parts. We have the A section, which is in A major, and we have the B section, which is in D major, and there's the A section again. So we get this ABA format, which is a very common form to use, and it works, which is why it's so common. I'm not mad about it. The A sections are in A major, and the B section is in D major. And even though we have a modulation into the B part, we only really have 4 chords in this entire piece. And the chords in question are, of course, A major and D major, but we also have B major and E major. And the interesting thing about these chords is that they form a line of dominant chords. So if you start on the B, it's the dominant chord of the E major, and the E major is the dominant chord of the A major, and the A major is the dominant chord of the D major. And just to summarize really quickly what the dominant chord is, it's basically a chord that leads to the main chord of the scale. So the main chord of the scale in A major would be A major, obviously. And the dominant chord is the 5th tone of the scale, so the E major. And the E major chord leads back to the A major. And this of course applies to all scales. So if you have a scale that starts on E major, then you have E major as the home chord, and the B major would be the dominant chord, because B is the 5th tone of an E major scale. And the thing about this line of dominant chords is that they all fit into the scale of A major. So I would say as a whole the piece is in A major, but it has a part that also is in D major, if that makes sense. And well, I'd be lying if I said I don't like pieces that are simple and easy to understand harmonically. So I like that it's just 4 chords. Sometimes 4 chords are enough, you know? So when I show you the score, throughout there's some colors, and basically they indicate which chord is present at the particular time. So if it's purple or lilac, I think it's more of a lilac actually, well, it's B. And if it's blue, it's E. If it's orange, it's an A. And if it's green, it's a D. I am lying a bit when I say there's only 4 chords, but the main gist of the piece is only 4 chords. So the analysis is a really broad analysis, and if you have music theory exam where you're doing chord analysis, don't look at this for an answer because it's really broad. But okay, now I've been talking a lot. Let's actually listen to a part. Let's listen to the main theme of this piece. And then he uses the same theme again, which is not surprising. And yeah, that's basically what the entire piece is based on. So after this, it's a few repetitions where he uses variations of this theme, especially in the A part, but it's also kind of possible to see in the B part. I've kind of divided the A part into A1 and A2, and the reason for this is that the A1 part is actually repeated in the second half of the piece after the B section, while A2 is not repeated. And then we get to the B section, which is a nice break from the A section, I suppose. It kind of gives a different kind of feeling. It doesn't as directly use the main theme. It's still kind of in the shadows there, but it's a bit further away, so you kind of get a break from it. And I honestly think that's great. I love that he has the courage to take a break from the main theme. Personally, I often find it hard to take breaks from the main theme, so yeah, I'm proud of him for that. The B part is also more interesting harmony-wise. It varies the chords a bit, and it kind of modulates from the D over to more of a E major kind of feeling. It's kind of blue and purple, or lilac, or whatever you want to call this color. It gets more a E major kind of vibe, and that is because we are kind of slowly modulating ourselves back to A major, which we need for the A part when that returns. So we're kind of slowly shifting from the D major we're kind of established now into the A major we came from earlier. Now let's actually just listen to the first half of the B section. I don't really like the second part of the B section, so I won't be talking about it. It's just the modulation section. We'll listen to the first half because I like that part, and it's probably the best part of the entire piece, honestly. Even though it's just the same thing repeated again and again. Just like the A part, but a different theme. Well, enjoy! And there it is again, just an octave higher. And now we get the variation. And a variation with more details. And here starts the part I don't like, so we won't be paying attention to that. Let's just skip to the ending actually, because that's a lot more interesting. And here we have the A1 section again that I told you before that would be coming back. But yeah, we have heard that before, so I'll be skipping a bit. So here we get some cool harmonics, which sound nice. And they are of course repeated. And then we get to the ending that I've just called the outro part. And this part just basically plays a lot on the dominant tonic progression that it repeats throughout. And it just keeps intensifying to the end. And it's great, I love when things get more intense. Dominant tonic, all over the place here. And then some tonic, of course. So why don't we listen from the beautiful opening again, and I'll tell you what I think about this whole thing. So basically, to start off, I want to say that I really like how simple things are. It doesn't need to be complicated to be nice to listen to. And I like how the different variations of the themes, the two themes there are, tells a story in a way. I also like how a lot of the music making, you know, there's notes, you can play the correct notes and then you can make music with it, and it's often given to the musicians in this piece. It's not as much in the hands of the composer, which of course makes it important that the violinists are really well tuned to each other and communicate well. I'll link you my favorite version of this piece down below in the description. It's a duo that have done great things and that I really admire. So yeah, just check it out. I think that summarizes everything. I've said everything I wanted to say. I like the piece, I like how simple it is, I like the storytelling, I like the communication aspect between the musicians. I prefer the piano version, but the orchestra version is fine. Yeah, well, thank you for watching everything. It's been a long video and I've really had so much fun making this one. I hope you'll leave a suggestion for me in the comments for the next piece to look at. Just check that it's available on IMSLP in the public domain and that there's a recording, either with a Creative Commons type license or that it is in the public domain as well. And I'd be very happy if you liked this video and subscribed, and also you can ring the bell to get notifications when I post a new video, which might be on schedule, but usually it's not, as you've probably noticed. And yeah, thank you for listening. I'll see you next time. Bye!